Math 12A, I've already gotten quite a few responses on your homework, which is great. So the questions I have currently been asked that I'm going to go over are 5, 8, 12, 13, 50, and 53. Those are the numbers I've been asked to go over. So those are the numbers I'll go over. I'm just looking for Harriet. I set her down somewhere. Oh wait, I know where I put her. Here she is. All right. So those are the ones I was asked to go over. So those are the ones hopefully I'm going to quickly go over. And then I have one example left to do in this section. And we'll be done this section. And then you can have your nice long weekend. Number 5 says, find the coordinates of any points of intersection. So y plus 5 equals 0. Oh, I know why this is a problem. Y plus 5 equals 0, and x squared plus y squared is 169. Okay, so if you're visualizing this, my center is at 0 and 0. Square root of 169 is 13, so it would be a really big circle. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. And the radius would be 13. Now, the equation of the line is actually y is equal to -5. So, if y is -5, y is -5, your line is actually a straight horizontal line. So there are two places where it's going to cross the circle. So we're going to use substitution. Y is -5. So x squared plus y is -5. -5 squared equals 169. So x squared plus 25 is 169. So x squared is 169 minus 25, which is 144. So x is plus or minus 12, because the square root of 144 is 12. Y is -5. It just is. So where are my points? -12 and -5, and +12 and -5. Because my y is -5, because it's always at -5. So what I needed to figure out is, what are the x values? Well, at -12 and at +13. That's number 5. Number 8. Takes me longer to erase than to do the question. Number 8. X plus 2y plus 15 equals 0 is the line, and x squared plus y squared equals 90. So again, what I want to do is I want to take the line and I want to isolate one of the variables. It doesn't have to be y, and in this case I wouldn't do y, I would do x, because x doesn't have a coefficient in front of it. It'd be easier to isolate that one and make it x is -2y minus 15. So to go to the circle, instead of putting x, put -2y minus 15 squared plus y squared equals 90. So -2y minus 15 squared. -2y and -2y would be +4y squared. And then that would be minus 60y. I'm just doing FOIL. And -15 times -15 is plus 225, plus y squared equals 90. So 5y squared minus 60y, and I would actually bring this over here so that I have 225 minus 90 is plus 135 equals 0. This is a trinomial. Either factor it or do the quadratic formula. One thing I would notice is that I could take 5 out as a common factor. If I do, I have this trinomial. So again, it would be easier to do the quadratic equation with 1, -12 and 27 than with 5, -60 and 135. Or I'm hoping I can factor this. 9 and 3 is 27, so -9 minus 3. And so y is 9 or y is 3. So 9 or 3. So if y is 9, -2 times 9 would be -18, and -18 minus 15 is -33. Oh, that sounds awful. I'm going to check the answer on this one. And for y, I got 3. So -2 times 3 is -6, minus 15 is -21. I'm actually going to check that because I don't like it. I might have made a mistake on that. I could have. I'm good at it. So that's number 8, page 488. Yep, somewhere I have something wrong. It says I should have -9 and -3 here. So where did I go wrong? Let's find out. Should be 4y squared. Okay, so did I copy the question down right? I did. Yay me. Okay, so if I did that, then that's negative. So this would be 4y squared minus 60y plus 225 plus y squared. So if I add those, that's 5y squared minus 60y. So that's plus 27. So somehow I have negative 60y here. And so I have y minus 9 and y minus 3. Okay, I'm going to have to look at that one, guys, because I get an answer that doesn't make sense. They say -9 and -3. If you're yelling at your screen right now, I hope you are. If you're yelling at your screen right now because I'm just being stupid and not seeing something, that happens, then you can contact me and let me know what it is. I don't want to stand here too long and just have dead air while I try and figure it out. But I get 9 and 3. Why am I getting 9 and 3? And not, see there, this should be, oh wait, yes, okay, this is because I did not write out -2y minus 15 times -2y minus 15, so when I do this, this would be plus 30y, this would be plus 30y, so this should be plus 60, so this would be plus, this would be plus, this would be plus, so this would be minus, and this would be minus, this would be minus, and this would be minus. So, all because of one negative. That happened to more than one of you on that test that you did too, where you messed up a sign and it just messed up everything else. So, if I do -9, -2 times -9 is 18, and 18 take away 15 is 3. And if I do -3, -2 times -3 is 6, and 6 take away 15 is -9. That makes more sense. All right, so all because of one little negative. Okay, so be careful of that. It's a reminder for me as well. All right. Hopefully you were watching this going, I know what you did. I hope you were. Number 12 says, still find the coordinates of any intersection. So I'm still doing the same thing. Unfortunately, it says round your answers to the nearest tenth, which I never like the sound of. But for number 12, they tell me y is equal to 2x. Well, that's handy. They've already isolated the y for me. And x minus 4 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 26. All right, so same process. Again, if you want to draw it, the center of your circle would be at 4 and -3, and your radius would be like 5.1. And y is equal to 2x would be, your y-intercept is 0, your slope is up 2 and over 1. So if I wanted to, if you needed to, if it helped you, you could do that the center of my circle is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and -3, 1, 2, 3. Always change the sign because those are inside brackets. That's not going to work out very well for me. Hold on. Let me put the line over here a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So let's say there. And the radius is like 5.1, so it's going to be just above. So it's here. My slope is y is equal to 2x. So here's my thing and up to over 1, so it's going to be a pretty steep line. So I'm looking at something like this. So again, if you draw the picture and then you get your answer, it will help you to know whether your answer actually makes sense or not. But you don't have to draw the picture. I didn't need that. Because if y is equal to 2x, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do x minus 4 squared, and I'm going to substitute the y for 2x plus 3 squared equals 26. And then I'm going to see if I can do this right this time. This would be x squared minus 8x plus 16 plus 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. And I'm going to bring the 26 over to be minus 26 is equal to 0. So everything's on one side. So that is 5x squared. Negative 8x plus 12x would be plus 4x. And 16 plus 9 is 25. 25 minus 26 is minus 1. Is equal to 0. So again, you're either going to need to factor this, or you're going to need to do the quadratic formula where your a is 5, your b is 4, and your c is -1. Up to you which way you do it. I am better at factoring. Why? I don't know. I just am. I do it better in my head. So that would be 5x minus x, so it would be this. Okay, is equal to 0. So either 5x minus 1 equals 0, so x would be 1/5, or x would equal -1. So either x is 1/5, which kind of makes sense, over 1/5 and up, or -1, which again kind of makes sense, back 1, and it's going to be down something. Now, it's easier to substitute that back into here. If I put 1/5 into here, 2 times 1/5 is going to be 2 over 5. Now they said put it in decimals. They said put it as a tenth, so you can do that. 1 divided by 5, 2 divided by 5. And -1, 2 times -1 would be -2. And again, those sort of make sense with my quick sketch, my quick drawing there. 13. Val. My husband must have left the house because the dogs are barking. Which means he's probably outside and they're barking at him. 13 says x plus y equals 0. And x minus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. So again, if it helps you to draw, and it doesn't even need to be super accurate. You've been noticing I've just been sketching. That's all I'm doing. So my center would be 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. My radius would be 5, so it'd be something like that. And my equation is y is equal to negative x, meaning my slope is at 0 and it's down 1 over 1. So it's going to be something like this. So I've got a couple of points where it seems to be crossing, but they're pretty close together. So if y is equal to negative x, then I'm going to have x minus 3 squared plus, instead of putting y, I'm going to put negative x minus 4 squared is equal to 25. I'm not going to let that negative mess me up this time. So this is going to be x squared minus 6x plus 9. This is going to be plus x squared, and that's going to be 4x and 4x. That's going to be plus 8x plus 16. I'm going to move the 25 over. Minus 25 is equal to 0. So I just did FOIL with that and FOIL with that. So I have 2x squared minus 6x plus 8x would be plus 2x. And then 9 and 16 is 25. Oh, that's handy. And 25 take away 25 is nothing. So that equals 0. So how am I going to factor that if it's not a trinomial? Well, I would take a 2x out as a common factor, and I would have x plus 1 left, right? If I take 2x out of here, I have an x. If I take 2x out of here, I just have 1. It's equal to 0. So either 2x equals 0, which means x is 0, or x plus 1 equals 0, which means x is negative 1. So if x is 0, then y is also 0. So that kind of makes sense. It kind of looks like that my line's going through that 0 and 0. And if x is negative 1, negative 1 would be positive 1. And that kind of makes sense, back 1 over up 1. So again, kind of makes sense. Even with just my quick sketch, it at least makes sense. And that's what I would get. I didn't even need to round it off to nearest tenth because it worked out nicely. All right, then we jump all the way to number 50. Seems like a big jump. So I'm assuming that that is the other type of question that we did, and the other type of question that we did talked about coming up with the equation of a tangent line. So the equation of a tangent line, so I'm going to do 50. Just a second. Hey, that's enough. No, seriously, stop. Okay, 50 says for each circle, write an equation of the tangent at the given point. So for 50, they listen so well. Can you still hear them? X plus 4 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 26 at the point -3 and 3. So again, just for visual sake, no need to draw it if you don't need to, but if it helps you, it helps you. Helps me. The center of my circle is going to be -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -2, 1, 2. My radius is going to be about 5.1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be about here. That's a really good circle. And at -3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, at -3 and 3, that's going to be on the edge of the circle, and there's going to be a tangent line. What is the equation of that tangent line? So this is an x1 and this is a y1. Well, hello, Rolly. Rolly's come to visit. An equation of a line is always y minus y1 is equal to slope times x minus x1. So it's going to be y minus 3 and x minus -3, so really x plus 3. The slope is my problem, but it's not really a problem because I know the center of my circle is -4 and -2, and I know that this point is -3 and 3, And these two lines, the tangent line and the radius, are perpendicular. So if I can figure out the slope of my radius, then I know the slope of my tangent line. The slope of my radius is y2 minus y1. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I get negative 5 over negative 4 plus 3, which would be negative 1. So I get that my slope is 5 over 1 for this. So the slope for the tangent is the negative reciprocal. So that's positive. So it's going to be negative 1 over 5. So y minus 3 is equal to, now this was a mistake that some people made on the test and it screwed up everything. If you have your slope out here, you have to multiply it with this x, which is negative 1 over 5x, but you also have to multiply with this, and some people didn't. That would be negative 3 over 5. Now I have to move this 3 over here, so I'm going to have y is equal to negative 1/5 x and negative 3 over 5 plus 3. So negative 3 over 5 plus 3 is plus 12 over 5. All right? Now, I'm okay if you leave it here, but the back of the book likely puts it into, this is what we call standard form. They likely put it in general form. So they're going to move everything over to one side so that the x is positive. So positive 1/5 x plus y minus 12 over 5 equals 0. So I just moved everything over to this side. And then there shouldn't be any fractions. So since the denominator is 5, I'm just going to multiply everything across here by 5. If I multiply this by 5, I end up with just 1x. If I multiply this by 5, I end up with 5y. And if I multiply this by 5, I end up with minus 12. And if I multiply 0 by 5, I still end up with 0. So I'm fine if you leave it here, but the back of the book may leave it there. 53. Somebody told me they were way off on 53. So let's see why. Maybe that means I should check my answer for 53 too. I don't know. 53, x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared. X minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 58 at 5 and 4. Again, I can draw it. I'm not going to bother this time because I'm trying to get through this. So this is an x1 and this is a y1. So when I do y minus y1 is equal to slope times x minus x1, it's going to be y minus 4 and it's going to be x minus 5, but I need a slope. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the slope of the radius. This is one end of the radius. The center of the circle would be 2 and negative 3. So I'm going to use this as my x2 and my y2. So when I find my slope, negative 3 minus 4 over 2 minus 5. So that's negative 7. 2 take away 5 would be negative 3. So I end up with positive 7 over 3. So the reciprocal would be negative 3 over 7. So y minus 4 is equal to negative 3 over 7 plus 15 over 7. Again, don't forget, you have to multiply with both things. So now I'm going to bring my 4 over here, and I'm going to have y is negative, whoops, I forgot my x, negative 3 over 7x, and 15 over 7 plus 4 is, whoops, sorry, I hit a wrong button, is 43/7. So again, that would be standard form. I'm okay with it there. Don't round this off. This does not round off nicely. I just changed it to a decimal by accident, and it's a great big long decimal. If you leave it like that, then you're going to end up either rounding off or having a huge mess on your page. Leave it as a fraction. It's simpler, it's neater, your calculator will do it, so it's not a big deal. All right, now, if they don't leave it like that in the back of the book, they move everything over to one side, 3/7x plus y minus 43/7 equals 0, which means they'd multiply everything by 7. So that would give me 3x plus 7y minus 43 equals 0. Now, let me just double check, because someone said I was so off on that answer, so let me just double check. That's number 53. 3x plus 7y minus 43. Yay me! All right, so that's your homework. That's a lot of your homework. There was only 3 questions of your homework I didn't do. So if you missed one of those 3, hopefully I've shown you what to do, and you can go back and see what it was you did wrong in your question. All right, I'm actually going to make a separate video because this one's pretty long, so I'm actually going to make a separate video for the next thing. So I'm going to start over here just a sec.